and we're just going to keep talking. So, hey, welcome everybody. Delilah's Downloads, the Summer of Surrender with Radical Obedience. Thank you guys for joining us back. We were having such a great conversation behind the scenes. I'm like, well, we might as well just press record and, and talk about it and go ahead and talk about it. Two things, just a brief introduction of what we're doing here, and then an introduction for our guests today. You know, you guys, we were talking about this summer, the Summer of Surrender. Because in order to do great things, we have to surrender all of the great things that we already believe we haven't, defined for ourselves. And obedience is one of the things it takes for us to actually walk into surrender our plans, be obedient to God's plans, surrender our time, be obedient to God's time. And so we've been talking about this Summer of Surrender. And so today, we have our next guest up. We've interviewed some amazing women so far this summer, and so that theme just continues. Here's another amazing woman who has done some amazing things in her life, and a lot of it, through the obedience to God. Right, you got to be obedient. So I want to introduce. I'm just going to be biased and say it out loud. My cousin, one of my faves, to Delilah's Downloads. Everybody, Kaneasha.
Hi, everybody. Hello, everyone.
And cousin, sometimes I'm just bad about I just want to jump in and just get into the conversation. But can you share maybe a little bit about yourself? I know you to be an amazing creative. I know you to have an amazing heart, empathetic and compassionate for people. But can you just share a little bit about who you are?
I'm Kaneasha, and basically Kaneasha is a cosmetologist, educator. I've been in the cosmetology world for 20 years. I'm an educator as well. I have my own salon. I've started my own hair care line, and that's my side. Yeah, that's me as of the business side. But I'm also a mother of four adults, and my last son is on his way to college. So praise God for that.
Yay! That's what's up.
Yeah.
I mean, so when we think about all the things that we're called to do, I hear you saying mother, nurturer, professional, business owner, all of the things. It takes a lot to be able to do that. And so, we've been going through, several questions. I'm just pulling up my questions here, Kaneasha, over these last couple months around the Summer of Surrender. And so I want to share some of those same questions with you and get your perspective. And what really helps anchor us in the conversation that we're going to have for about 25 minutes or so here is this question to you. What is obedience to you? When you think about obedience personally, spiritually, what does that mean to you?
Obedience to me means surrendering my will to God's will. It's and even when we don't fully understand,
That part.
trusting his way, and knowing that he sees the full picture before we do. So it's more just surrendering and understanding that God is going to lead us in the right path. He's going to lead us that right way, but we have to surrender our will for God's will.
Yeah. I think you said quite a lot just in that answer. But one of the things that stuck out to me, like even when I don't know, because one of the things that, oh my gosh, how did he say it? We were having this conversation in the Holy Spirit, and he's like, faith is when you don't know, when you don't know. So step out on faith versus just, following the instruction.
Yeah,
it's easier like if you know all the steps.
Yeah. So, it's kind of hard to be led by faith and not by feeling.
Oh,
yeah. So
I feel like it's right. I feel like it's good.
Or I feel like this not, I don't know. I'm not sure about what I'm feeling, but God is saying, go this way. So you just have to be led by that faith and put your feelings aside for a moment.
Yeah. And I know it's easier said than done. And that's why we're here,
Ooh,
because we want to give give insight and practicality to, oh yeah, it's possible, and here's the fruit on the other side and all the things. But maybe share with us about a time where you've had to be radically obedient. How has this shown up in your life, this kind of obedience?
well, there's been many a times. Let's say
Well,
that.
I'm like, she's an amazing person. So y'all just rock with us, because like any life that's life in, I'm sure
Well,
there's been more than.
one time is where I felt the need to step away from security and
Ah,
stepping into my entrepreneurship.
okay.
I stepped away from a full-time job and decided that I wanted to become a full-time hairstylist. I wanted to put, I was going to put all my eggs in this one batch, basket. And I wanted to become a full-time hairstylist. And I had stepped away from what I felt was my security net,
Yeah.
and just held on to God, the faith that I had in God. He knew my heart. He knew what I wanted to become. And even saying that, like, we're coming up on the 10-year anniversary
Ah,
of that. Yeah, of me stepping out on faith.
congratulations.
Yeah, that radical obedience where God was telling me, like, I put this gift in you and you need to use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that you use gift. Because I'm a believer that it's in our area of gifting, like our dominance, our domain is he uses our area of gifting to be able to spread the gospel, do the kingdom work, all the things. And walking away from a secure job is no joke. I've joined you just recently, just recently in the last couple months. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna try that too. But
Yeah.
I'm very, very early on, where you are 10 years in. That's phenomenal. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
10 years into, I'm because financial security is a whole thing. Like, I think that's probably one of the biggest things that, if we are that one of the biggest things um that can get a person stuck, is around money, especially if you
Yes.
come from any level of struggle. You not trying to see that level of struggle again. And
Mm-hmm.
so to not have, potentially not have money, could be a big hurdle for people.
Yeah.
But you did it, and here you are 10 years later. Maybe talk about a little bit about um what has been the result of that radical step of obedience, to walk away from financial security and into a dream that God called you into.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe what it was like initially, because since you got all this time up under your belt, right? Since you're OG, um, maybe what it's like initially, and what it's like now. Because it may not have been all unicorn and
Oh
rainbows.
no, no, no. It was not all unicorns and rainbows. Not at all. Um, the blessing, it didn't come all at once. Some did happen right away, some unfolded over time, but every step God continued to provide that confirmation that I was in alignment with his will.
Wow.
You know, um he basically, it started off from zero. I started off zero. I was doing hair, I was doing your hair.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so, I had a couple clients here and there. And what really to me, what stands out within me believing in God and being a hairstylist in this day and age, is that majority of my clientele has come from word of mouth. And that
Mm,
isn't something that happens nowadays. Everybody's on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and look
that's
what I
real.
do. And granted, I've tried to dibble and dabble in there, but I'm just gonna have to hire somebody because that's just not my
Not
niche.
your jam. Not
I
your
can keep
jam.
I can keep you looking good, but That whole social media thing is a whole nother world.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
but I thank God that by getting clients a word of mouth, that right there shows, what I can do.
sure.
Because, people see the work, they like the work, and then they're coming to me.
And it's not always, it's not always, it doesn't always happen how somebody else thinks it should happen.
Yeah.
Because I hear you on, make sure you have 2 reels and 5 posts, and this is what success looks like. And it's like, well, no, if God breathes on it,
Yeah. Yeah.
surely I don't need to
You
do
don't
all
need it.
the
Yeah,
things.
and honestly, although I walked in God's will, I was still trying to do things my way, you know? And he'll pop me in the back of the head, like, what did I tell you? Like, just because that person got it this way does
Come
not
on,
mean
Kaneasha.
that's the way for you.
Come on, Kaneasha.
Continue to do what I tell you to do in the way that I tell you to do, walk the way I tell you to walk. Listen to when I say go and listen to when I say stop. Once I got that, it was smooth sailing, and
Smooth sailing. And I
uh-huh.
was hearing, I was still listening, but that thought came in. It's like, and also freedom.
Yes. Freedom, definitely freedom. Like, you talk to yourself like, why did I put myself through this? Like, why am I putting myself through this? I could just listen. I hear him. He's saying, no, you don't have to do the 5 reels and put up 3 stories and make 7 posts a day. And, you
Yeah,
don't need to do that.
yeah.
But, it does work for other people. It just was not for me, you know.
I really like that because you're right. Like, I'm not poo pooing on whatever God told you to do, because who am I to tell
Exactly.
you what God told you to do?
Mm-hmm.
What you're saying is, but what I need to be clear on is what God told me to do.
Mm-hmm.
Be clear on what God told. And I see these, sometimes I see destiny helpers, people come help and give advice, and sometimes it's good advice, but it's just that it's advice. It's like, okay, here's something I should consider, but here's what God is saying do.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so it's like, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you being amazing in your area of gifting. I heard you, and this is what I'm supposed to do with it while I follow God.
Yeah.
While
Mm-hmm.
I follow God. Because
Absolutely.
maybe you show me how to put a bow on top of something. I don't take the whole package, but I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm
Right.
supposed to
That little bow is what stood out to everybody. That's all I needed. Yeah.
exactly.
I didn't need the metallic wrapping paper. I
I
just
didn't.
needed that little bow.
I just needed a little bow. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for your time and your gift.
Yeah.
You continue to make amazing metallic wrapping paper gifts with bows.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord says, thank you, give me this piece. And this is what
Mm-hmm.
I'm supposed to then do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
How has, because I heard you say, many opportunities for obedience and radical obedience, things that, like, people look at you like you half crazy, like, well, that just don't make no sense. Okay, maybe it doesn't, but foolish things confound the wise.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard you saying there have been many opportunities around that, but how is that one particular step of radical obedience, how has it shaped like future obedience after you made that step?
Well, what it taught me was that obedience doesn't always come with comfort. That's one.
Mm.
It doesn't always
Me
come with
too.
comfort, but it does come with purpose.
Okay,
Um,
say more. Okay, okay, I'm listening.
so when God speaks, I'm quicker to respond. Like, even when it feels scary because I haven't seen what happened, um, but I trust Him.
Mm.
So I've learned that God is faithful. He meets us in the unknown, you know. Um, I've also learned to be braver,
Oh wow.
you know, to take those chances, more resilient than I thought.
Mm.
and it's like just expect like with walking with him, because I'm walking with him, like I'm more confident, more
Yeah.
bolder, braver now. And God is just awesome. Like, it's
I'm
like
with you.
you see people and you're like, no, you really need to know him.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
need
yeah,
to.
yeah. Like kids say, no cap.
No
Right.
cap. No cap. He's
Exactly.
awesome.
You need to know them. You need to
Yeah.
know them. And you one of the words you just used was resilient.
Hmm.
And that stuck out because I see obedience similar to how you just described it. Like once I have one step of obedience and I show up and the proof is there, it encourages me to have the exercise obedience the next time God says to do so. But what we don't often talk about is the need for and the build of resilience,
Hmm.
because sometimes maybe the benefit of that step of obedience is not immediately seen. Maybe it doesn't pan out exactly how I thought it was going to be, that the
Hmm.
fruit of that obedience. And so it's created me to be, you to be, sound like a little bit more resilient to, oh, it's okay that didn't work out that way. I still
Hmm.
trust God. He's
Right.
still faithful.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That word
Because
really stuck
even
out.
sometimes it's not, we think that being obedient to God is just he's going to
Uh-oh.
just give us
Uh-oh.
everything that we want.
Uh-oh. Come on.
But sometimes being obedient to God is also teaching us a lesson. So there's a lesson in it. Like it wasn't necessarily something for you to have tangible. Right. No, you needed to learn this lesson because I see the way that you're going, and you, you know you're like, you're thinking that you're about to get this big old bow, right? This big present. And
We
he's like,
finna,
no, no,
we
no,
finna glow
no.
up. Yeah.
And he's like, no, you needed to learn a lesson in this season. This is the season for lessons.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have to understand, because a lot of people will miss that part and say like, oh, well, I don't hear God, he's not answering my prayers.
Mm.
But yes, he is. You just have to dive a little deeper into it and understand that, no, that was a lesson, baby. That
Mm-hmm.
was a lesson,
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
you shouldn't have went that way.
Yeah. Yeah. That was your gift.
Hmm. That was
That
the
was
gift
your
right
fruit.
there.
Yeah. The fruit is you're wiser. The fruit is you're more
I
patient.
need I need you to tap into discernment. You need to understand that, that person may not be the right person to work with, So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And unless oh, I love that. That person may not be the right person to work with. And let's look back and see where the cues were that I was showing you. So
Yeah.
if presented again,
You
you
will
already
know.
know.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's so good, Kaneasha.
Yeah.
That's so good. Because it's not all of, oh my gosh. And I know we're only here for a short period of time, but that unlocks the whole thing, that thinking about, oh, but I didn't get what I wanted. So I was either I didn't hear him correctly, or I was disobedient, or something was off. And it doesn't always have to be something that's off. Like you were trying to show me something.
Yeah.
You were trying to show me something, not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily hand me a blessing. Because we be blessed and happy.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, I
But
just want a blessing. I just want a blessing.
I just got a ghetto blessing. We put
Exactly. Exactly. It's like, well, you should expect to be taken care of because he's the God that over it all, and he's your
over
father.
it.
So surely you should have things and stuff, but what else is he trying to give to you? What else is he trying to show you about
Yeah.
himself?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's so good. That's so good. Okay. Okay. So a couple more questions, but one of them, I'm checking our time. Two questions. I'll do these two. What have you learned about God or learned
Mhm.
about yourself during that whole process of I'm gonna leave my paycheck and just jump out the window with the Lord,
Um
or
what
any
I've
other act of obedience?
no, what I've learned is that as far as obedience, obedience isn't about having all the answers. It's about trusting the one that does have the answers.
That's so good.
Yeah,
That's so
that's what I've learned.
yeah.
Because we always, like us, I mean, just going back on what I said, we always want to have it all and do it all and do it on our own, and that's not what it's about. And then not only with having the obedience, like God honors
Mm,
those that are obedient. So
good.
our yes might feel small, but it can open big doors for us
Yeah. Yeah.
just
Because
by being obedient.
obedient. Because we don't know the whole, we're not the creator of it all. So we don't
Exactly.
really know what this one thing is going to do. And I think we can even sometimes minimize, like, oh, this is not a big deal. Well, yes,
Yeah,
yes, it is a big
it
deal.
is.
It is a
Mhm.
big deal. It is a big deal.
Mhm.
If you don't, then I have to find somebody else to, because his plan still go do what it's supposed to do.
Right.
But it is a big deal. It is a big deal. I like that. Not just not knowing all the steps, but trusting the one who does.
Mhm.
That just actually ministered to me in the current season. I don't feel like I'm stuck, but I feel like I'm more uncomfortable than I have to be, because
Mhm.
I want to know all the pieces, or I want to know more pieces. And
Yeah.
so thank you for that encouragement to
Mhm.
remind me, yeah, you just
You're
trust in the one
welcome.
who knows.
Just trust him. He already knew everything that was happening throughout the 28 years
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and further.
And before, exactly. And
Yeah.
before, somewhere in the 70s or 60s, where they were like,
Mhm.
"Ooh, what? Somebody gonna have a baby?" Like, yeah,
Right.
before even,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. Trusting the one. Thank you for that. Um,
Mhm.
this has been a phenomenal, and I want to talk more.
Mhm.
But what I've realized is that, unfortunately, life moves very quickly, and people don't like to listen for a long time. So I endeavor to keep these segments to
Yeah.
like 25 minutes, so that
Mhm.
people don't abandon, and they can get all the richness of what you're sharing.
Mhm.
And so, as we think about a final question, or point of reflection, um, hmm, what would you share? I know what you just shared with me, but what would you share with someone, to encourage them? Like, God is asking them to be obedient in something, and it feels radical, like almost, Lord, that's too much. You're
Yeah.
asking for too much, and they're struggling with stepping out in obedience with God. What would you share with them?
Well, what came to me when you were asking that question is fear. Um, so I would tell them, one, they're not alone.
Hmm.
We all fear, have that fear, but you cannot let that fear lead you. You can't lead with fear. If you feel fear, that just means that you're stepping into something bigger. And that's exactly when God shows up.
Wow.
So he knows when to show up. But just know that you're not alone. Like we all have that fear, but at some point you have to say, you know what, I'm stepping in front of that fear. I'm not allowing that fear to lead me.
That's so good and so relatable. Um, because I think anything radical and anything big provokes a level of fear.
Hmm.
And we may have some people out here that will front and say, "Oh, you just gotta."
You just got to jump in there and
Right.
do it.
No, I'm afraid. I was afraid. And I was afraid,
Yeah.
but to your point, like trusting the one who knows everything, and then allowing that fear, if the fear was in front, allow having that fear fall back, and that faith and trust
Yeah.
lead. lead.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. That's super good. Hey, Kaneasha, I know you're word of mouth, and I know you're not all on social media, but I'm a fan. I'm absolutely a fan. Even though I'm currently rocking braids. I will tell you, I got Starr Status shampoo and conditioner and hair
Yes,
growth, all the things. Like I'm still using
all of
and
it.
my wash brush. Like I still use all my stuff. Where can people find? How do they book you? Where can they find you? You can say
Okay.
it. I'll put it in the comments too because I know there's a way to book you. But tell the folks, well, how do we find Kaneasha Starr?
Sure. Also, I am adding some more products to the line. Yes, a hair serum, mousse, oil, another oil,
Come
and
on,
also leave-in
Kaneasha.
conditioner. Yes. So I can for socials it's Kaneasha Starr, and that's on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. My company is Starr Status Creations. And for booking hair, my hair book is on Style Seat, but you would do styleseat.com/Kaneasha Starr.
Wonderful. Styleseat.com/Kaneasha Starr. I'm
Starr.
gonna tell y'all the only reason that I don't rock as many crochets as I used to is because she's in Chicago area and I'm in Texas. Because if I was anywhere near the Chicagoland area, I would not be going to nobody else but Kaneasha
Hmm.
Starr. And so I encourage you ladies to get there. And it's safe because anybody who knows anything about hairstylists or barbers, they're also like, counselors. And so she's a safe, good place, as you've heard the wisdom here.
Therapist.
It's the therapist. I love therapists. I love therapists. They're
Yes.
therapists. And so a safe, good place to have good dialogue. And I
Thank
encourage
you.
you to get there. Kaneasha, thank you
Thank you for having
for
me.
sharing your journey, sharing with us obedience, what it looks like to step into radical obedience, both before, during, and even after what that fruit looks like. I'm
Hmm.
sure what you shared here today will bless folks. And we're just going to say thanks again for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I had a great time.
Oh, well, we're going to have to come back and do some other stuff.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
All right. Thanks for being here, guys. We'll talk to you guys later. Summer of Surrender. Let's just be obedient.
Bye.
Toodles.